Okay, we're back for the second hour after the break and after the news, whatever. I didn't listen to them, so I don't know what the news are. But other than the bad weather. But what I was talking about before the end of the first hour was the millionaire syndrome that most doctors seems to have. They actually get into medicine because they think they're going to make a lot of money. And
Affluenza.
What?
Affluenza.
Oh.
Not like influenza.
Close to influenza, but... but they actually go to medical school with the thought they're going to make a lot of money. Yeah, it's going to take years but to get the degree, but they're going to make a bundle of money. They're not. Okay? Because when they first get out of medical school, they got this tremendous bill to pay back, so they are lured into going to work for the hospital. The hospital are going to pay their bill in exchange for indentured servitude for a certain number of years. So by the time they get over that, they're just sold to the system. They're hopeless. And when they're younger, they might have some ideas. Some of them might actually think they're going to do some good, but by the time they get over the indentured servitude obligation, all they are is people that want to just the money and the rest doesn't matter. And that's one of the problems. But the other problem is, which is connected with that because they grab the doctors when they're out of the school. As soon as they get out, they cannot afford to set up their own practice and they can control them. So it's still part of the same problem of hospitals wanting to control the business and not allowing any competition, even with small clinics. And get this, obviously FDA is helping them in that effort. And also Medicare and Medicaid is helping them. And there are centers for Medicare and Medicaid services. Okay, and they are, I guess, setting up a rule, making the announcement, and all of that good stuff, controlling what happened. And some doctor pointed out, they did some research, and pointed out that Medicare pays $6,500 more per beneficiary, so per patient, to when chemotherapy is given in outpatient hospital facility instead of a small cancer clinic. And also the out-of-pocket cost of the patient going to a community cancer clinic, that is also higher. But get this is not the real difference in money. The real difference in money is patients that go take chemotherapy in hospitals receive more chemotherapy treatment. Okay, is that supposed to be good for them? Having more? I don't know that it's good for them. It's good for the hospital. But anyway, they receive more treatments in a hospital and more expensive chemotherapy drugs in a hospital. And what is that going to do? What is that going to be good for? Not the patient. Well, when they instead go to community oncology clinics, they don't receive those expensive drugs. As a result, chemotherapy costs going to given at a hospital can be, get this, 47% higher. And Medicare is paying it, 47% higher. If isn't that, and you don't think that's racketeering? You don't think that's a plan to keep the big hospital working and full of money and the stockholder super wealthy, as opposed to the people that actually work and deal with the patient and the patient problem? That's disgusting. And that is what's happening. So the problem is they already have been sabotaged, and then of course that connected with their expectation of what they're gonna make once they get out of school. And I'm telling you, both doctors that I had working for me in Oklahoma were money mongers, okay? Both of them. But the DO that I had, as soon as he graduated, well, he was in the military because the military paid for his medical school. So, and he stayed there for a few years. And when he got out, as soon as he got out of the military and started working at the medical school, DO school, osteopathic doctor school in Tulsa, he turned around and bought a super expensive car, bought a boat, and he was trying to buy a house. I guess he didn't get approved at first because he just overdid it. But the a Corvette limited series or just a special issue, I don't know. I don't follow those things. But anyway, he was raving about his Corvette. I really don't see people driving a bathtub on the road, because that's what a Corvette is. It's so low that it's like you're stepping into your bathtub. But anyway, I don't see that, but that's what he was doing. And had a boat. I mean, boats are expensive for them. And then all the care of the boat, where you store it, where you keep it. I mean, that's ridiculous. And then he was looking for an expensive home. I guess he didn't get approved, and he was waiting to get approved for a home loan. But, he wasn't making the money, and he was having financial trouble because of his already obligation, and he was not making the money he expected to make when he got out of the military. I guess he felt he could make more money outside the military, but actually I don't think so. But the mentality is that, well, I'm an DO or MD, whatever. I'm a physician. They don't call themselves physicians. They call themselves doctors. But all they are, they're physicians, just glorified technician. They think that because of that, they should be super wealthy, and that's ridiculous. Anyway. And that's where the problem lies, not being able to support the clinic the way they thought they could, and the money they will make out of their operation. And the other one is actual sabotage from the ruling or FDA, from the Medicare, Medicaid payments, and all of that. It's just totally, and patients, completely ridiculous, okay? And that's where the problem is. Ridiculous expectation, unrealistic expectation, not justified at all by anything. And keep in mind that the wealthier doctors are crooks. The ones that make really a lot of money are crooks. And they make it for a while, and then, they get caught. So they are breaking the rules in an obvious way, and they get caught. But it takes a long time to be caught. It's unbelievable, okay? And who suffers? Everybody. Everybody in the public, people that need the medical. And Randy had that experience. One of the big competition is walk-in clinics, okay, urgent care places. Yeah. Do you remember in Little Rock where, this guy, real estate developer, built this facility that was for walk-in and, urgent care. And they ruined him financially, so he couldn't keep his operation going because Big Pharma and the AMA does not want those things to take a foothold of the business. They don't want him in the business. And they ruined him financially. A real estate developer that built he was building this nice place. Yeah, that's where Shock was working at. Okay. But anyway, and we considered renting a space there, but they weren't ready. And they ended up never being ready because they ruined him financially. So it's bad. And that's a competition that the AMA And in the drug company, because those places usually go for generic, so they don't want it. And so what they do, they put an end to it. They stop it. Bad propaganda, all sorts of problems, and they put an end to it. So people cannot have decent care. Why should a person go to a regular doctor and not just go to walk-in urgent care when they need it? So you want to discuss what happened to you? Well, yesterday they were closed. So what happened to you today?
I guess that's one of the reasons I'm being kind of quiet today because, yeah, I'm sick. I've got, I don't know, I thought it was I thought I just had the flu, but apparently it's bronchitis.
But it doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's right. You said that. Bronchitis doesn't exist, so.
Yeah, at least that's what they say.
Maybe it's diabetes. No, but no, it just it kind of ticked me off that a place called Urgent Care, I was sitting in there for at least 4 hours. I mean, maybe if it had been urgent, they'd have seen me faster. I don't know, but
but keeping somebody sitting there like that can get everybody else sick in the room. So, anybody considering that possibility? Anybody caring? It just, the walk-in urgent care, because that's what happened. Why do you have to wait that long? Because there were not enough out there of those. There aren't. They're being discouraged. I'm amazed that survived, that one. Okay?
Yeah, there was at least 30 in there in that waiting room.
And it took you forever also to get the prescription.
Well, right. It was totally not even connected. But, yeah, that was just the icing on the cake. After all of that, getting into the pharmacy. And first they tell me it's going to be 45 minutes. And, okay. So that's not even enough time to go home. I'm just going to wait. So waiting, then 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, that's still not ready, and then the card gets declined, and so, yeah, this is one thing after another.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be that way, okay? It should not be that way. It's just a business that they feel people need anyway. They're not going to go anywhere else, and they got the business. And if you went to your regular doctor, first of all, why do you have to have a family doctor or, any generic practitioner as a person you go see all the time? Do you have it for a car? You go to a technician when the car has some problem. So why shouldn't it be the same of going to a doctor when you have a problem? No, because they tell you need to go all the time. Why? Well, because we don't want you to go to urgent care. And in fact, on the subject, there was one of those useless, insignificant survey that they do, but they do that to get money, occupy their time. And I am not sure. This is the article that talks about this is December 30th, okay? And it's saying patients and physicians who treat them often disagree on the appropriateness of visit to walk-in clinic. See, you are not even free to choose going to a walk-in clinic because the doctor, a family doctor or whatever, other doctors, they find it inappropriate. It is your life. You're taking care of yourself. You decide that, like in your case, you needed to go to get something, in your case was just regular cough and flu, but now you have bronchitis, which you might not. It's just another thing to make them self-important. But, okay, well, was that appropriate? Did you check if it was appropriate?
I got some antibiotics.
Yeah, but I mean, did you really need to do that?
Well, I was miserable. I still am, pretty much.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the time these antibiotics are half gone, it'll start feeling better.
But usually antibiotics make you tired, and doctors claim that that's not true. It's not true that antibiotics make you tired. They knock down everything just to attack the whatever is ailing you, and they do it fast, and that won't make you tired? No, because the doctor said so, okay? And anyway, so basically the survey went on and established these two things, okay? Well, I don't know if they're two things, but the results, okay? 61% were rated as appropriate. 20% understandable, but 18% the patient could have waited to an appointment for their own physician. Okay. First of all, who is anybody out there deciding what you should do, okay? And if what you decide to do is appropriate or not. Is appropriate according to whom? Well, of the expert, of course. Because the doctors are the expert, and they know if you really needed medical care or not. Okay? And if it's just needed or just simply understandable because you subscribe to the fear factor they offer, or you just could have waited. Well, and why should you wait when it's convenient to your own doctor? Why should you be told you should wait? Why should you get the answer, well, it's understandable that you want to go for... See, Randy, it was understandable that you... See, to me, that sounds pretty arrogant, a statement like that. But there are others that are justified, yes. And who established the justified? Not the patient, of course. It's a medical establishment that they decide when it's appropriate for you to seek health care elsewhere beside the regular line of your family doctors, and then he can refer you, if it's needed, to a specialist. But only if your doctor decides that you need a specialist, not because you feel you need one. See? That's how it goes. You have to be controlled in every moment and action of your life. I mean, come on. What nonsense is that? And people are really listening, and who is deciding to spend money on this kind of... I'm telling you, there is something on this floor that attracts everything. And now that my drink has gone down.
Oh, no. You spilled your drink.
Yeah, I spilled my drink, and it's ice everywhere. And I just don't understand. This place has got something. You reach for something, does it end in your hand? No, it's on the floor. It's always the long way. On the floor, and then you're free to pick it up. And that's a path that it follows. Only if it's another medical obligation.
Oh, God. We're still rolling.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I'm being punished for attacking the medical establishment. So there it is. My drink is gone.
They possessed your drink.
Yeah, it's supporting the action of the medical. And if the medical decide it was inappropriate for you to go to urgent care, then you have to correct that and not let it happen again, you see? You go to urgent care, you will wait. Of course, you wait hours, too, when you go see the regular doctor, even with an appointment. Have you ever been able? I remember in Tulsa when I had the rear view mirror that fell off, and I tried all sorts of ways to glue it back, and it did not work. And then somebody told me, you cannot do that. That's another thing you cannot do. You have to have to a specialist, and they have a special glue, and they can fix it for you. Okay, so why that glue is not allowed on the market for everyday people? No, it's not. You have to go to a specialist of glass. So I went there, tried to get, I had an appointment because I was busy. I was trying to fit it into my schedule. I had an appointment to get this stupid glue put on, really easy thing, and I waited and waited and waited, nothing. And somebody came in, oh, how busy is this? I said, it's not that busy, but you're still going to wait a long time. This is worse, just as bad as the doctor's office, I said. You know, they got insulted. Good, because that way they finish it up and send me off. But they got insulted because I said, this is just as bad as the medical office, doctor's office. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I never had my patient waiting. I mean, if they waited, it was just a few minutes, not, you know. Going back to what happened to you. Okay, you're sick. You cannot go to work. You're a mess. You feel awful, but it's still okay for you to sit there for 4 hours?
Yeah, and apparently it'll be okay tomorrow, too, when I have to be back at work. I sure don't look forward to it, but...
Free speech guaranteed. You're listening to the Orion Talk Radio Network.
At Orion Talk Radio, we're constantly working hard on your behalf. But the fight for freedom could not be fought without you. So we want to hear what you have to say at 888-272-4434.
Wow, I have never heard talk radio like this before.
Y'all got a really good thing going, and we really appreciate it here. We're from Alabama, and thank y'all so very, very much. Thank you.
Hi, guys. Good job and all. My name's Wayne from Alberta, Canada. Good work, guys.
I agree with your defense of the First Amendment, religion, speech, press, the right to assemble.
Hey, I think Orion Radio is spectacular and awesome.
Hey, I just wanted to call and tell you I'm a great supporter of your radio broadcast. Anyway, good to hear some refreshing information, very intelligent speech. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
At Orion Talk Radio, we're waiting for your call. 888-272-4434.
Okay, we are back from the break, and we are on the last segment of the second hour. So, the time has gone fast. Well, maybe not for you because you don't feel good.
Oh, I'm here in spirit.
Yeah, I mean, it's pathetic. But, it's winter. That's the problem. But the problem is made worse by the slavery condition of work, because they penalize people that are sick and don't go to work, don't show up to work, so people don't want to lose their pay, they don't want to lose points, they don't want to be penalized. So what do? They go to work even if they're miserably sick. What happens? They make everybody else sick. And so it's a vicious circle. That is stupidity to the hilt. They're doing that for greed, but it's stupid because actually they lose more. But the patient lose. But you know what? The patient, I'm sorry, the they lose too. But the employees lose. But they don't care. They just don't realize that an unhappy employees is messing up. It's not a good thing to have. But they all do it. Well, look at this. Okay, I was going to talk about something else first, but there is this article. And the title is a jewel, like it's not something you could figure out. But this is an article appearing on Medscape on December 30th. Okay? And the title says, Tired, sleep-deprived nurses may regret clinical decision. May. Okay? So, why you should have working nurses that are supposed to take care of patients, why are you having them tired and sleep deprived? Because of greed. But you know what? That is stupid. It's not greed, it's stupidity. They think they maximize the profit. It's not. You're having somebody that is sleep deprived and is tired, and you expect them to make important decisions like taking care of patients. I don't think so. I mean, you can't cook if you're too tired. I can tell you that from experience. Man, yesterday I was a zombie. Anyway, you can't do it. You cannot function. You cannot have people just like doctors that are, they're no longer intern. They are, what are they? What they call them? They cannot call them intern. It's no longer internship. They are resident. Yeah.
Residency.
Yeah, they're staying there all the time. They're residents. Yeah. You cannot, they're going to mess up big time. They're young. They're learning because medicine is, all it is practice. Trying out to see if it works. If they are tired, they can't even think, but they don't want doctor to think. They want doctor to do like an operant response. Well, you cannot do that. Treat patient in those conditions. The same with nurses. You cannot have medical healthcare providers that are functioning on operant response. Natural reaction to things without thinking. That's the problem with medicine. They teach them not to think, just do it. What you recall they told you to do. Don't think. Yeah, great. And how a person that does not know how to think is going to handle a diagnosis? Well, it doesn't matter, because if that drug doesn't work, use another one and try out another one. This is what is happening. Sleep deprived. And I know that happens. Sleep deprived nurses. And, there is shortage of nurses. So we have to extend the hours of work of the nurses we have. Oh, great. That's really something that is not only unthinkable, but is a sign of tremendous stupidity. And we're going back to what Einstein said. Okay, don't argue with stupid people, but, something needs to be done. But something needs to be done, and this cannot be allowed. And it's happening all the time. And these poor women, but we pay them well. Yeah. And then, of course, even if a doctor makes a mistake, it's always the nurse that is blamed. Not that I like nurses either, but it's unfair what they do to them. Okay, now I'm getting to what I wanted to discuss in the first place. And this is actually out of December 23rd, so it's a few days earlier than the... Okay, you know that there has been all this argument about women hitting menopause and told that they need hormonal replacement therapy. For years, they've been told that that's my stand. They have been told and convinced they need hormonal replacement therapy. And I disagree. I believe they need not to listen to old wives' tales, not to listen to these people that make you feel like, you're no longer a woman. So your life is meaningless. You have to take these things to make you almost half a woman. But without those, you're nothing. Hey, a person, it's soul, it's brain, not physical. It's not a bag. A woman is not a bag producing children. And when she cannot produce children anymore, well, then it's just their life is over. And some women are silly enough to believe that nonsense, and that's why they end up having menopause symptoms. And they keep saying, no, they're real. No, they're not. It's mental. Just get a job. Get something that gets you seriously involved, interested, and you won't have any need for medication. You won't have any need for all of that nonsense. Just pay attention to the logic. You are first a person. You're first an individual. You're first a mind. Constant work. That's what you're first. Then, if you're a man or a woman, it's secondary. Very insignificant. It's not all the way around. Okay? It's not. And they're trying to make it look like your purpose in life is having children. And if you don't, oh, that's terrible. And then when you cannot have children anymore, instead of helping you feel, yay, they make you feel bad, like something is wrong with you. But then we have the answer. We can solve that problem. Hormonal replacement therapy. Well, what about the fact that hormonal replacement therapy produces breast cancer, generates breast cancer? Well, okay, well, we'll look into that. And they did over the past few years, and they were easy enough on hormonal replacement therapy. Well, what happened is probably that the bottom line of the drug company wasn't pleasant. So what did they do? Came back and said, oh, no, it's not true that the risk of hormonal therapy, the major risk of hormonal therapy are thromboembolism and breast cancer. No, that is not true. Because the risk, see, this is official statement, the risk conjugated, they try to use difficult word to, and the estrogen and the other product, there is a name of another product, but it's just insignificant. It's just hormonal replacement therapy. They overweight the benefits. No, they first say they overweight the benefits using estrogen, so you need estrogen replacement. But now we have a committee of obstetrician and gynecology that support the fact that there are new drugs of hormonal replacement therapy that solve the problem. So you do not need to take the estrogen, and what the name of this other product is medroxyprogesterone. So it's basically progesterone. Those, the risk outweigh the benefit. But if you get into this, and progestin alone increases breast cancer, but, and anything produced by compounding pharmacy that do compounded hormones, okay, or herbal remedy, or exercise, those are not good for you. Those can cause breast cancer or thromboembolism. But it's great because now they have drugs that are better than ones they had before, and they can, let's get back and use the drugs instead, not the one issued by compounded. And I'm trying to find the name. I thought they were showing the name of the drugs, but I don't seem to find. I don't seem to find any name. I'll check again later. But anyway, don't go to compounding pharmacy and then a compounded product that replaces estrogen. And don't take herbal remedy. No. You don't take that. Don't even do exercise. You have to take drugs. And there are great drugs out there that can fix the problem, and you don't have to worry about breast cancer. Yeah, sure. Herbal remedy will cause breast cancer. Yeah. Oh, and they say that don't use the natural hormonal replacement. That's the real problem. Use the synthetic one. Those are good, which means drugs on the market. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. No, I cannot find. They're not really providing the name of the drug that you're supposed to use. But you are supposed to, and get this, you are supposed to take these drugs even after age 65. Because before was that after age 65, that's pretty much ridiculous. No, you are not supposed to discontinue those drugs. Get this, because some women have hot flushes longer. After age 65, get real. Okay, what nonsense is this? It is to keep you. Oh, okay. I found the name. They said that FDA approved 2 new drugs to replace progestin. Okay? One is called, I finally found the name, Baze-doxyphene. Okay. BAZE, doxyphene. Okay. And this helps. Instead of using the natural progestin, it did have soft flashes and osteoporosis. It's to prevent osteoporosis too. And then there is also another drug, it's a similar name with the phene also, ospemifene. And those are the drugs. I told you I had the name of the drugs, I couldn't find it. Those drugs are good, but don't use natural products. Those are bad for you because the natural product will cause breast cancer. Use the artificial medication. Those are good for you. Are they? Or they are good for the doctors that prescribe them and the drug companies? I mean, who believes that nonsense? It's absolutely ridiculous. They must think that the public is stupid. Can't use herbal remedy, can use natural product, cannot use exercise. You have to use these 2 drugs. Those are good for you. They will not cause breast cancer. Really? Because you don't know yet that they do. They've been recently approved. They don't have enough test results to tell you what they cause. It's just unreal. It's unreal, the brainwashing that is going on, convincing people that any other route than the one of drugs is not the answer. The good thing for you is drugs. They really help you. Don't take compounding product. Don't take herbal remedies. Don't take natural remedy. Don't think that eating properly and exercising is good for you. No, that is not. The drugs are. And get this other. There is another article, not about cancer, but it's an older article, appear as way back as December 20th of last year. But anyway, the risk of stroke in patients jumps right after starting warfarin for patients with atrial fibrillation. You know, warfarin, it's Coumadin, a rat poison. Okay? Stroke risk jump right after starting warfarin for atrial fibrillation patients. Fibrillation patients. But the good news is that if you survive that initial stroke, then the risk falls soon after. You start that, you're a serious risk to get a stroke, but then it falls off, the risk, and you survive the initial trauma, then you're okay. Except, of course, that you can bleed to death. Because that's what rat poison does. Can you believe, actually, an article to support warfarin, and Coumadin is a brand name. It's the same thing. Warfarin is the generic, and Coumadin is a brand name. Can you believe an article tells you that? Yes, it can cause a stroke, but that's just only at the beginning. Okay. Then later he went, well, is it because you're dead after? Or what? The same thing. Don't argue with stupid people. What an imbecile. Anybody. I would be ashamed to put an article like that out there. Well, if you don't die at first, then the risk will fall off. They say the same with chemo. If you don't die right off, the risk will drop. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then what about the bleeding to death with warfarin? Oh, but we can monitor that. That's why there is a secretary at the office up here. And she is on Coumadin. I told her, cut that out. Oh, but that's good for me. And the doctor said he's monitoring. Oh, I went to see the doctor, and he said that my blood is too thin. I have to stop taking warfarin for a few days. Well, a few days are not going to do it if the blood is thinning too much. Unbelievable, the garbage that they say to patient, and patient believe it. I must take this. Otherwise, I'm going to die of a stroke. Well, you're going to die of a stroke with warfarin anyway, more than likely. So, but then they're going to tell you, no, you died of stroke because of the atrial fibrillation, not because. I know. I'm laughing about it, but it's not a laughing matter. It's just that I'm amazed that people believe this. When a doctor gives them such a ridiculous story, they believe it. Oh, and you have lost too much weight, they told her. You have lost too much weight with this. You need to gain weight. So, what do they prescribe her? The drink that people take the day after getting drunk. Raw eggs in milk. Oh, sure, give her a cholesterol problem so you can put on statin drugs after. Oh, shit. And what makes you think you're going to gain weight that way? How about eating bacon? I mean, and bacon is not going to give you a cholesterol problem, by the way, guys, because the body can metabolize the bacon fat, the pig fat. It cannot metabolize the beef fat. It's not that good with the eggs too, but the pork fat is not a problem. Okay, you want to know what else is a problem? Actually, I read it on a product review on Amazon, okay? And there it goes back into, don't argue with idiots, okay? This woman was raining badly an attachment to a KitchenAid because he wasn't doing a good job in making the frosting that she and her mother-in-law love, the shortening frosting. They love frosting made with shortening. What? Are you looking forward to have a quadruple bypass later in life? Oh, man, we run out of time already. Well, I guess. Okay, shortening will clog your artery, will harden, and you are going to need bypass. And shortening is all artificially, is all derivative of petroleum. Go ahead and make frosting with that. Okay. Well, oh, but it tastes great. Really? Ooh. Yeah. Don't use butter, please. Oh, no, absolutely no. That's bad for you. But shortening, oh, that's great. Okay. Just don't argue with imbecile. Okay. All right. We have come to the end of the program for this time, so I want to remind you to try to have a good time. It's not an issue of New Year resolution.